Mind Mapping Mastery. Welcome to our 3D presentation, where today we delve into a technique that promises to declutter your mind in our age of overwhelming data. We're talking about Mind Mapping Mastery, a revolutionary method designed to navigate the chaos of modern information overload. It's a visual approach to thinking that could fundamentally change how you learn, create, and organize your life. The cognitive revolution. We're about to embark on what could be called a cognitive revolution, exploring how mind mapping is far more than just a note taking gimmick. This technique is a powerful way of thinking that mirrors the very architecture of our brains, tapping into its natural, nonlinear processes. Prepare to see how aligning with your brain's native language can unlock unforeseen levels of clarity and creativity. What is radiant thinking? Imagine a tree, a perfect masterpiece of natural design. Its trunk is the central idea, and from it, major branches explode outwards, each one giving rise to smaller and smaller twigs. That, in essence, is radiant thinking. It mirrors how our brains actually work through association and connection, not in the rigid straight lines of spreadsheet. Linear notes are like a single, lonely twig, whereas a mind map is the entire, magnificent tree of thought. How does a mind map synchronize the brain? A mind map is a symphony conductor for your mind, forcing the two hemispheres of your brain to finally play in harmony. The logical left brain gets its fix from the structure, the keywords, and the hierarchy, while the creative right brain dances with the colors, images, and spatial arrangement. This brain synchronization creates a state of whole brain thinking, a cognitive superpower where logic and imagination amplify each other. Was a practical outcome of this synchronization? Instead of drowning in pages of dry text for a history exam, you could create a mind map where Napoleon is a fiery central image. His key battles are explosive, color coded branches, and the political consequences are represented by clever symbols. Suddenly, you're not just memorizing facts, you're creating a memorable story, a visual tapestry that your brain eagerly absorbs and retains. This practical outcome of synchronization turns rote learning into an act of creation. Who was the pioneer behind this method? The brilliant Tony Buzan wasn't just a psychologist. He was a student of genius, meticulously studying the notebooks of Leonardo da Vinci. He noticed da Vinci's notes were not linear lists, but a whirlwind of sketches, lines, and interconnected ideas, a clear precursor to the mind map. Buzan's genius was in recognizing that this was not chaos, but the blueprint of a brain firing on all cylinders, and he systemized it for all of us. Why are mind maps so effective for memory? The secret lies in a powerful psychological trigger called the von Riestorff effect, where unique, visually distinct items are remembered far better than uniform ones. A mind map, with its unique colors, images, and spatial layout, transforms every piece of information into a distinct and memorable memory anchor. It's like turning a boring list of names into a vibrant party where you remember everyone's face and story. Anatomy of a masterpiece. Now, although we understand the why, let's dissect the how by exploring the anatomy of a masterpiece. There are a few crucial, non negotiable elements that elevate a simple diagram into a truly effective, brain friendly mind map. Mastering these components is the key to unlocking the full cognitive benefits of this powerful technique. Why is the central image so crucial? A word is a cage for your thoughts, but a central image is a launch pad for your imagination. An image immediately engages your right brain, triggering a cascade of associations, emotions, and ideas before your logical left brain even has a chance to put up its usual barriers. Starting with a vibrant, multicolored image is like dropping a creative bomb in the center of your mind. The explosion of ideas is instantaneous and powerful. What is the secret of the branches? The secret of the branches lies in their organic hierarchy, which mimics the neural pathways in your brain. Using single keywords on each branch, instead of long phrases, forces your mind to make potent connections and distills ideas to their absolute essence. This creates incredible clarity and acts as a powerful trigger for recall, as each keyword unlocks a whole network of associated thoughts. How do branch thickness and curves influence our thinking? It's a subtle but profound trick on the brain. Thick, curved main branches are visually more appealing and engaging than harsh, straight lines, making the information feel more organic and less intimidating. The thickness visually screams importance, telling your brain to pay close attention to these core concepts. This branch design psychology makes the structure intuitive and guides your focus naturally from the general to the specific. What is the true power of color and images? Imagine your mind mapping a business plan. All financial data is on green branches, marketing strategies are on blue, and potential risks are on red branches, each marked with a unique symbol. Suddenly, you see a cluster of red risk branches sprouting from a key blue marketing branch, a hidden connection that a 20-page document would have obscured. The true power of color and images is that they speak a language of instant recognition that bypasses the slow, linear processing of text. How do you handle complex relationships? A standard mind map is a beautiful hierarchy, but life is messy and ideas often refuse to stay in their neat little boxes. That's where you bring in the special forces. You can draw a cloud around a group of related branches to show they form a distinct, important cluster. Even better, you can use connection arrows to leap across the entire map, linking two seemingly unrelated ideas and revealing a surprising, non-hierarchical relationship. The golden rules of genius. We've seen the components, but to truly achieve mastery, one must follow what our expert calls the golden rules of genius. These aren't rigid constraints, but liberating guidelines that ensure your mind map is a tool for clarity, not a source of confusion. Adhering to these principles is what elevates a simple sketch into a powerful engine for thought. Why must every element be connected? The brain thinks in associations, not in disconnected fragments. Every idea is linked to another. The connection principle of mind mapping, where every branch physically touches another, mirrors this fundamental truth about our neurology. This unified structure creates a powerful visual metaphor for interconnected knowledge, reinforcing the idea that no thought exists in a vacuum and strengthening the associative power of your brain. What is the one word per branch rule? The one word per branch rule is a beautiful constraint that liberates your mind from the prison of sentences. It forces you to distill an idea to its absolute core, its most potent keyword, which then acts as a multiplier for new associations. This process demands both precision in choosing the word and unleashes creativity as your brain freely explores the vast network of ideas connected to that single, powerful trigger. How does personal style enhance a mind map? A mind map is a conversation with yourself, and developing a personal style makes that conversation infinitely more interesting and memorable. When you create your own library of unique symbols and colors, you're not just taking notes, you're creating a piece of art that is uniquely yours. This personal investment makes the information more engaging and forges a stronger emotional and cognitive link to the material, making it far more effective. How can someone discover their own style? Here's a wonderful exercise. Take a simple concept like happiness and create a small mind map, but for each branch, you must use a different visual element. Use a unique color, a personal symbol, a tiny sketch, or a different style of lettering for each idea, like family, sunshine, or music. This simple act of playful exploration is the first step to discovering your own style and building your personal visual language. Why is a clear hierarchy essential? A mind map without a clear hierarchy is like a library where all the books have been thrown into a single giant pile on the floor. A radiant hierarchy, with thick main branches and progressively thinner subbranches, is like a perfectly organized library with clear signs for every section, shelf, and book. It allows your eye and your brain to navigate from the main idea to the tiniest detail with effortless grace, preventing a descent into a confusing mess. Tools of thought. We've established the principles, but now we turn to the practicalities and the great debate over the tools of thought. Should you use the ancient technology of pen and paper or embrace the power of modern digital software? Each method has its passionate advocates, and the choice can significantly impact your creative process. When is drawing by hand superior? Imagine you're in the raw, explosive, initial phase of brainstorming a new invention. This is where drawing by hand is superior. The physical act of drawing, the friction of the pen on paper, creates a direct, unfiltered link between your brain and the page, a cognitive benefit that the slickness of a mouse or trackpad simply cannot match. This manual creation process is slower, more deliberate, and allows for a deeper, more personal connection to your fledgling ideas. What is the killer feature of digital mind mapping? The absolute killer feature of digital mind mapping is its capacity for infinite, frictionless editing and real-time collaboration. You can have a team of people scattered across the globe, all working on the same visual canvas simultaneously, dragging branches, adding ideas, and building on each other's thoughts without ever getting in each other's way. This transforms a solo brainstorming session into a powerful, collective intelligence engine. How does digital mapping help in project management? It's pure magic. You can take a branch from your initial brainstorming mind map, say launch marketing campaign, and with a single click, transform it into a task. You can then assign it to a team member, set a deadline, and attach all the necessary files, turning your creative explosion into a structured, actionable project plan. This seamless transformation from idea to execution is a game changer for project management. How does a mind map differ from a concept map? The crucial distinction is this. A mind map is a radiant hierarchy exploding from a single central idea, designed to unleash creativity and organize thoughts. A concept map, on the other hand, is a more logical, web-like structure that can have multiple starting points and uses linking words on the lines to define the precise relationship between concepts, like water is composed of hydrogen. The mind map's strength is divergent thinking, while the concept map's strength is in precisely defining existing knowledge. When should you use a flowchart instead? If you're trying to map out a sequential process with clear decision points, like a computer algorithm or a customer support workflow, a flowchart is the superior tool. Its standardized symbols for processes, decisions, and terminators are designed specifically to show a step-by-step sequence. A mind map would be less effective here because its radiant structure is designed for exploring ideas, not for illustrating a linear, logical path. Real-world applications. We've explored the theory and the tools, but now let's bring it all down to earth and look at the real-world applications of this technique. From the classroom to the boardroom, Mind mapping has a vast range of practical, everyday uses. We'll now discover how this method can be applied to solve concrete problems in your professional and personal life. How can mind maps revolutionize learning? I once knew a medical student who was drowning in the complexities of human anatomy, so she created a massive mind map with the human body as the central image. Each organ system was a main branch, with its functions, diseases, and treatments branching off in different colors, turning a mountain of textbooks into a single, interconnected visual story. This learning revolution allowed her to see the big picture and master the entire subject on one sheet of paper. How do they transform project meetings? Using a mind map to project the agenda and capture ideas live during a meeting creates a shared visual focus that is absolutely transformative. It prevents circular discussions because everyone can see what's been said, and the radiant structure encourages building on ideas rather than repeating them. This meeting transformation leads to shorter, more focused discussions and produces a visual record of actionable outcomes that everyone understands. What is the best way to capture meeting notes as a mind map? The pro tip is to not try to capture everything verbatim. Instead, listen for the key concepts and capture them as single keywords on your main branches. Use a parking lot branch for ideas that are off topic but potentially valuable, so you can acknowledge them without derailing the flow. This live scribing technique allows you to capture the essence of the fast-paced discussion without getting bogged down in the details. How can a mind map solve a complex personal problem? To solve a complex personal problem, like a career change, you would place "my new career" as the central image. You'd then create main branches for key factors like passions, skills, financial needs, and fears, and from there, you'd explore all the associated ideas. This process externalizes the entire decision, allowing you to see all the interconnected pieces at once, which brings incredible clarity and confidence. How can you plan a presentation with a mind map? A mind map is the ultimate presentation planning tool because it allows you to see your entire narrative on a single page. Your core message is the center, your main talking points are the primary branches, and your supporting evidence and stories are the sub-branches. This ensures a logical flow and helps you craft an engaging narrative by visually balancing all the elements before you ever open a slide deck. The future is radiant. We've seen how powerful mind mapping is today, but hold on, because the future is radiant. We are on the cusp of a new era where emerging technologies are set to amplify the power of this technique in ways that sound like science fiction. Prepare to have your mind expanded as we explore the next evolution of thought itself. How is AI becoming a creative partner in mind mapping? It's absolutely mind-blowing. You can now feed an AI a 400-page book on quantum physics, and in seconds, it will generate a comprehensive, structured mind map of the core concepts, theories, and relationships. This transforms the AI from a passive tool into an active creative partner, doing the heavy lifting of information synthesis. It's like having a genius research assistant who can read a library in the time it takes you to make a cup of tea. What is the next step for AI in this field? The truly exciting next step for AI is not just generating what we ask for, but becoming a creative provocateur. Imagine an AI that analyzes your mind map and says, "This is a solid argument, but have you considered this radical counterargument?" Or, "The pattern in these three branches suggests a hidden connection you've missed." This kind of active challenge would push our creativity to new limits by introducing unexpected, divergent pathways. What does mind mapping in virtual reality feel like? Mind mapping in virtual reality is like stepping out of a flat 2D photograph and into the living, breathing world of your own mind. You can physically walk around your ideas, which are now glowing, three-dimensional objects, grabbing a concept from one area and physically connecting it to another. This immersive experience provides a profound sense of spatial understanding and completely changes your perspective on the relationships between your thoughts. How can VR mind maps enhance team collaboration? Picture a team of avatars representing people from all over the world standing together in a vast digital space, like architects building a city of ideas. One person might be stretching a branch upwards to represent growth, while another is connecting two floating concepts with a glowing energy beam. This form of VR team collaboration on a 3D mind map creates a deeply embodied and shared understanding that is simply impossible to achieve over a video call. What is the ultimate frontier with brain-computer interfaces? The ultimate frontier is the seamless, instantaneous translation of thought into visual form through brain-computer interfaces. Imagine merely thinking of a concept and watching it appear as a central image, with your associated thoughts branching off in real time without ever lifting a finger. This would represent the purest form of radiant thinking, a direct and unfiltered flow from neuron to screen. Why is mastering mind mapping more relevant than ever? In a world drowning in data, mastering mind mapping is not just a skill, it's a survival strategy for the mind. This is not just a 70s era technique. It's a timeless principle of brain-friendly thinking, now supercharged by modern technology like AI and VR. It is the essential skill for anyone who wants to think clearly, create innovatively, and lead effectively in the beautiful chaos of the 21st century.